Hello and welcome to race day number 3. We're in Canada today, and I'm your host, Dwight Knight. We've got a treat for you, as this is, I believe, a momentum track. This season we have fewer momentum tracks, I think we only have 2 on the schedule. We have here, and I think we have another one in probably 2.5 weeks. People who have high concentration of that look to be rewarded, and hopefully they get their team some points. I am kind of looking to see where the link to share for everyone is, and so the start of the video is perfect. There we go. Start of the video is going to be a little bit more of just a background, and you may also hear some clickety clacks of the mouse and keyboard, so I apologize for that, but I believe I'm on my own today for casting, so Alright, so like I mentioned before, we are going to start with the supercars today. We are in Morocco, I believe, for supercarts. It's really good to see that we're back with updates for quite a few people, especially at the supercart level. Big booms or boosts to their stats going into this are going to be characters like Annie Skywalker of Mole KBM Racing and Clinton Lewis. I fully expect them to be towards the top of the pack, and then Woody Guthrie, who I think took the race last week, should also be quite the contender with Crash Test Dummy. Morocco. Alright, just gonna tweak some audio to make sure everyone can hear things. Alright, I've increased the mic audio. How is that? I guess a testing 1 2 3. Perfect. All right, thank you for that. Now that we've got the testing, I'll make sure all of our tracks are proper. All right, yep, we've got 5 tire wear, clear weather, and then 10 laps for supercart, and 1 qualifying lap. I won't do much talking during the qualifying laps. I fully expect that. Well, okay, I say that and then I immediately keep talking. Yeah, I fully expect those drivers that I mentioned above to take the lead and really own these qualifying laps. Teams or groups of concern are yeah, go figure. Maple Street Racing, myself and Scud bring up the pack, which is this is the team that I was gonna say probably will have some problems, as they have some of the lower stat values for this. But for the qualifying lap, we have Crash Test Dummy in first, followed by Clinton Lewis and Woody Guthrie in third, Annie Skywalker in fourth, and then we have Aston Martin Bot fifth, Mini Driver of Hot Wheels in sixth, the Grower Bot from Alpiner in seventh, Benito Bot of Ferrari, and Creed Bratton in ninth, and then we have Yukio of Mercedes taking the 10th spot, and Jimmy Smo in 11th, Jin Bot in 12th, Bender Rodriguez in 13th, Teeny Bot in 14th, Bot 2, followed by Tonic Bot in 15-16, Sanic in 17th, Small Bot in 18th, and then Stumpy Jones and Scud Muffin in 19 and 20. Take screenshots of these just in case. All right, and we'll get into the main event. All right, starting off to a great lead, we have Clinton Lewis in Crash Dummy in a great battle for first. As Crash Test Dummy takes the inside line and really just gets some lead from Clinton Lewis. We've got Woody Guthrie and Annie Skywalker in fourth and third, followed by a grouping of bots for the 5 through 7 range. Then Yu-Gi-Oh! Mini Driver in 8th and 9th battling. Creed Bratton in 11th. Jimmy Smo and Stumpy Jones battling it out for 12th. Bender Rodriguez Bot and Bot 2 15th. Followed by Jin Bot, Sanic Bot, Tonic Bot, Scud Muffin, and Small Bot rounding it out. Crash Test Dummy and Annie Skywalker. Annie Skywalker has really made some moves up from that 4th position that we were talking about earlier, followed by Clinton Lewis. It's great to see that. One of the cool advantages of this track, Morocco, is that it's just a really, really short, action-packed map, so it's going to be really, really hard to keep track of all the things that are happening as we see this pack of 4 really take the lead. As we start to see some of the carts pitting, I fully expect only 1 pit stops for each of these carts, as they are. It's only a 10-lap battle. As you see your leaders start to pick, Yu-Gi-Oh! Takes the lead. I fully expect them to. I could actually see them go a strategy of, since they're on those hard tires, they could try and go the entire. Okay, as I say that, they go in the pit, and Crash Test Dummy resumes sole ownership of first. Clinton Lewis is in a solid 2nd position with Annie Skywalker half second behind. Yeah. we'll watch this battle for second as Clinton Lewis and Annie Skywalker of Alpiner and Mol KBM battle for second as we're about to be on our final lap. Crash test dummy, I would be very surprised if they gave up position to Annie Skywalker. Oh my goodness, as Annie Skywalker takes a huge boost for the finish line and passes Crash test dummy, taking the first. What a finish. Followed by Crash Test Dummy and Clinton Lewis, Woody Guthrie and Yukio in 4th and 5th, Bot taking 6th, I guess I'll just go through it now. Annie Skywalker really pulled out with a crazy finish, also taking fastest lap with 15:05. Congratulations to Mol KBM, Annie Skywalker. Made it a really fun race to watch. Are you kidding me? Well, I'm going to have to go back to the VODs for the screenshot for that. And we'll get that at the end. I'll get that at the end. Wow, I cannot believe that. I went to make it windowed and it... Well, lovely. Okay. Well, yeah, I'll go to the... I'll show those at the end. Just retrieve those. So supercarts will be a little bit later tonight. I do have print screens for those. So we are on to Formula 3. Formula 3, like I mentioned earlier, we are going to be in Canada. As I make sure conditions are all correct. 15 laps, 5 tire wear, and we've got clear skies. Perfect. 1 lap qualifier. Perfect. Alright, I was kind of unfamiliar with Formula 3. We do have some really strong members in F3 from what I remember at this position. We have Pastor Maldonado and Ryan Gosling and Castile Angelic in your top 3 right now. We'll see how the rest of the qualifying lap goes. We have, like I mentioned, we have Pastor Maldonado, Mark Martin, Castile Angelic in 3rd, Ryan Gosling in 4th, Dale Gordon Jr. 5th, Lexige Oslin, I'm terrible at name like that, in 6th, Lady Driver 7th, Sophia Toth in 8th, Miguel Dommel in 9th, Pete Savage 10th, Caleb Hayden in 11th, Steve in 12th, Ray Alexander in 13th, Fillmore Carlin in 14th, Ambrose Rove in 15th, James Dion in 16th, Gustav Skarsgård in 17th, Scott Pilgrim in 18th, and Chester Curd in 19th, and then Juan Pablo in 20th. As we head into the main race, Pastor Maldonado in 1st will out into an early lead with some medium tires. It'll be really interesting to see how tires play a role in this one, as it is a shorter track than Miami last week. Although there is definitely a damage point with quite a few damage points where people in quite a few passing opportunities. As Marky Mark takes first over Pasteur, and Angelic is also passing Maldonado. You have to ask, are those okay? Those medium tires are doing really well, and he just was saving his turbos for a different route. Oh my goodness, that is such an entertaining group to watch in the 4 through 12 right now, as they enter into as we actually get some really early pit stops in lap 4. We'll have to see if this sets them up for a 3-pit race, or if that just will be their a disadvantage and a time loss for them. As Marky Mark takes quite a big lead and on those hard tires, and it's just too early to say what'll happen, as there's quite a battle for 4th and 5th between Toth and Gosling, as Toth just keeps finding themselves in the grass and can't keep that passing. Yeah, Marky Mark has a 3-second lead at this point. So, or Marky Mark Martin. So yeah, he's really just run this map to perfection at this point. As Marky Mark Martin takes his first pit stop. I would be very surprised if he throws those mediums on if he doesn't just resume taking that first position again. As he passes driver on the inside. Wow, he's really just dominating this course. Oh wow, what a pile up going on with Ryan Gosling, Oslins, Gordon Jr., Dion, all of those. Just what a cluster, what a cluster. I'd be very surprised if we run into a situation like last week where we had a member essentially DNF and then get pushed back into the finish. That was a really entertaining race in Miami if you want to go back and watch that VOD. But it's really fun to see all these aggressive drivers and see quite a bit of contact. As we go back to view the lead, you can see Marky Mark is passing quite a few people. He's on his lap and with his 3-second lead still, and Lady Driver in second, Toth in third, Maldonado in fourth, Angelic and Savage in fifth and sixth, and quite a close battle for fourth. As Angelic makes quite a move. Chester Curd really just being quite a roadblock. I think we saw some of that last week as well. How's the rest of this race going? Marky Martin still back to his he's on soft tires with 2 laps to go. He will be finished with his pit stops for today, and if he goes into the pits, he'd just be bonkers mad, as this should just be easy driving to finish the lap. go back to the more entertainment. Lady Driver's also in a really good position to take the second position. Maldonado in third. Let's see if we can get a close race going on. Find out, as the top 5 look very decided at this point. Okay, this is the entertaining part where we have 7 through 10 to really see how things shake up with Gordon Jr., Savage, Duhamel, and Gosling. Wow. Good, solid finish. All right, we had a dominating performance from Mark Martin from Mole KTM Racing, getting the both the fastest lap and the first position. Lady Driver in second, Pastor Maldonado, Donato, I cannot read. Wow. And third, Castillo Angelic in fourth, Sophia Zoth in fifth, Steve in sixth, Dale Gordon Jr. in seventh, Pete Savage in eighth, Miguel Duhamel in ninth, Ryan Gosling in 10th, Caleb Hayden in 11th, Lexi Ozeline in 12th, James Dion in 13th, Fillmore Carlin of Alpinor in 14th, Ambrose Rove in 15th, Scott Pilgrim in 16th, Ray Alexander in 17th, Juan Pablo 18th, Gustav Skarsgård in 19th, and then Chester Curd rounding it out in 20th. Alright, so that is the F3 group. Now we're going to go to rain. I need to... forgot to change that. And I believe that is everyone for this. Perfect. Alright, we have some slight changes. Formula 2, 24 laps is normal, tire wear of 4, and then 25% chance of rain. Yeah. Like we were saying a lot earlier, you see a lot of cars going into the grass. I fully expect with wet tracks, everyone's using, or potentially using their wets, so should be a fun one. It'll be really interesting to see how this race goes. Last week we had Alpinor dominate the F2. I fully expect it to open up as Zoom Zoom I Go Quick is, in fact, the name does fit. Followed by Bodie Utah, who has really just been quite a sharp performer out here. Been very, very top 5, I would say, in both reaction tracks. As his gets a great pole position today. As we start with Zoom Zoom I Go Quick and Bodie Utah in the first 2 positions, with Connor Fox and I assume it's Marcel, but it's a weird spelling. Von Salinar of Hot Wheels, and Dalton Cantor. It might be a normal spelling for, I assume, I don't even know what language that is. I don't know how to pronounce it. You also heard the announcers cast it earlier, and it's a point of uncertainty. And that followed by Dalton Canders in 5th position for Aston Martin, Victory in 6th, and Willie Miller in 7th. Kyle Busch Light and Alex Obono of Hendricks working together, getting that 8 and 9 spot. Mamma Mia in 10th, Mickey Mouse in 11th of Ferrari, with Jimmy Johnson of Volkswagen in 12th. Stephen Toast of Mercedes in 13th. From Alpine, Nash DePaulo in 14th. Bottom splits in 15th. Tess Simmer in 16th. Jell Holmberg. I need to brush up on my European pronunciations. And Popcat in 18th of Ferrari, followed by Harrison Andrews in 19th, and the American bringing up the rear. Alrighty. As we get into this race, get to see Mercedes zoom I go quickly give up the inside line to Bodie, Utah, as we have quite a battle for the top 10 spots. It'll be interesting to see how things level out. Bodie, Utah really on these softs getting an early lead and advantage over the hard tires of Zoom I go quick. We'll see what they switch to next. It's really cool to see Hot Wheels up towards the front, as well as Maple Stroop, as Victory actually starts to fall back behind the pack. Connor Fox takes that second position, as with Marcel quickly passing him with that turbo. Zoom I go quick just sput out at one of the worst points, giving up 4 positions as all these cars switch over to their wets, I assume, with these calls for rain. Yeah. As Buddy Utah's out with the first position, we'll switch up to Connor Fox in second, with Marcel and Willie Miller of Hot Wheels in 3rd and 4th, working together. As we start to see these teams hit the wall right after that pit entrance with the setup. So with the top 5, bearing something crazy or pits changing those positions right now, we'll start spectating in this pile of 6 through 12, and I'll try and keep an eye on the leader if they start closing the distance. Connor Fox gave up is in quite a battle at the second position with Marcel Von Salinar, as Marcel uses that turbo to get that, but does it right into the wall. All right, as we see Nash Paulo take the position of the interior against Stephen Toast and Victory, and Kyle Busch Light following up. Nash DePaulo and Busch Light, are they taking their wet tires off to get some sort of advantage with the change? Yes, they throw their hard tires on, and this may be a great strategy, bearing it doesn't rain, to get those tires nice and warm early and really just make up some positions, as we see our leader Bodie Utah and Marcel Volnier get the mediums on, with Connor Fox with some softs. It's really catapulted Paulo, like we said earlier, and just moved him up a few positions just by having an early switch. As we go back to Utah and our race leader for majority. I think he's led for 8 of the 10 laps so far, if not more. With Marcel right hot on his heels. Connor Fox, William Miller with, I guess we've got the American getting lapped, quite a few, as McLaren is performing pretty towards the bottom. They're not really suited for this track setup, apparently. And then Ferrari with Popcat and Mickey Mouse in 18th and 17th, respectively. Bottom splits is not having the name match, so good for him. As our race leader starts to approach those cars. This battle for first, even though it doesn't look like it's close, for a majority of time, you could definitely see Marcel get an inside line and pounce, like we talked about. As Marcel goes in for the pits, we'll see how this goes for Hot Wheels, as they can potentially get away with one hard set of tires if they wanted to. Kind of surprised they aren't going mediums into softs or something like that, unless they really do think they're going to be done with pitting here. As our race leader Utah pits again with Willie Miller right behind him. Willie Miller just does take the lead. Hot Wheels now currently own 1 and 2. Willie Miller's tires are pretty worn, so I would fully expect him to pit in the next lap or two and get either a new pair of tires, or he could even go the distance and try and he may try and get it so that he just has to pit one more time and throw those softs on. But Hot Wheels, out to a commanding lead. Utah in 3rd, Connor Fox of Maple Stroop in 4th, Dalton Canders in 5th. Stephen Toast, Nash DePaula just passing Stephen Toast, and Zoom I Go Quick are battling for that 6th through 8th positions. Tess Simmer in 10th, Victory in 11th. Mamma Mia in 12th, Jimmy Johnson in 13th, with a decent gap between Mamma Mia and Jimmy Johnson. Alex Obono and Harrison Andrews 13th and 15th. And like I mentioned before, Ferrari, the duo of Ferrari and McLaren towards the bottom, with bottom split mixed in, passing each other. As we see, Marcel has been able to create quite a big lead for himself, as Willie Miller is holding off Bodie Utah, really doing some great job keeping a distance between the first place player and I guess the race leader and the rest of the pack. So good for Hot Wheels, great teamwork. As Utah goes in for another pit and throws those softs on, hopefully that can be enough to get him going. Okay, so we have Connor Fox, who's at risks of, if he doesn't pit here, will likely, as we goes in the pit and throws those softs on, potentially gives up some positions to Zoom I Go Quick. Who Zoom I Go Quick saw on their softs, did an early soft pit, getting those hot, so he gets full use of those softs. Really racing quite well, even though he does have a 2.5 second lead behind, or deficit of Utah. Connor Fox looks to be cemented in 5th, pending he uses that turbo to catch up. We'll go back and look at our race leader, Marcel, and Willie. Bodie Utah, it was really quite a shame. Let's see if he can catch up, as he like we've said, he's just led the majority of the race. Might as well watch the cross of the finish or start of the final lap for those leaders. Connor Fox does look to be in a close battle with Zoom I Go Quick. If he gets the inside line here, his position will be 5th. Followed by Nash DePaulo took the inside line against Steven Toast and just really got another placement. It's great driving by DePaulo of Alpiner. Alright, so like we mentioned before, we have the duo of Hot Wheels taking the cake today with Marcel von Salonier of Hot Wheels, and then Willie Miller in 2nd, Bodie Utah in 3rd, Zoom I Go Quick in 4th, Connor and also getting the fastest lap of the day, so congratulations to you. You did indeed go quick. Connor Fox in 5th, Nash DePaulo in 6th, Steven Toast in 7th, Dalton Canders in 8th, Kyle Busch Light in 9th, Tess Simmer 10th, Victor Ree in 11th, Mamma Mia in 12th, Alex Albono in 13th of Hendricks, Jimmy Johnson in 14th, Harrison Andrews down to 15th after I believe he had the win last week, with Popcat in 16th, Bottom Splits in 17th, Holmberg in 18th, Mickey Mouse in 19th, and the American in 20th. All right. So that was Formula 2. Now we are up to Formula 1. The main event, a little bit of a longer cast. It'll be interesting to see how things may change as we switch to standard Formula 1 laps. 2 qualifying laps, and clear weather, and tire wear 3. Perfect. Okay, as we enter to the start of the qualifying, it'll be, I'm curious to see if there are going to be another pair dominating the field like we just saw kind of for the past 2 weeks on these tracks. As we have another Hot Wheels car leading the first lap with Furious Chicken having a wonderful start to the second lap, taking sole possession of first place for this pole position lap. And we have, I guess I'll just wait till everyone finishes out. No reason to do it twice. Starting out, we have Furious Chicken in first of Maple Street Racing, Mark Mueller, or is it Muller? Muller of Mercedes, Roger Destruc of Hot Wheels, Pierre Hude of Aston Martin in fourth, Raikkonen of McLaren in fifth, Puff Carpentier. He's the one who was a fan favorite last week in Miami, who's the little engine that could, of Hot Wheels in sixth, Bobby Brooks of Ferrari in seventh, Paul Hude of Aston Martin in eighth, Dadley of Hendricks in ninth. Jackson Kyle in Mercedes in 10th. Venegas of Maple Stroop in 11th. Felix van der Biezen of Volkswagen in 12th. Aaron O'Shea Hennessy, Ferrari in 13th. Late for Bingo in 14th. Rondale Devil in 15th. Mateus Cavallo in 16th. And then Michael Selich and Zina De La Torre, A. Jobin, and Alex Burkhart finishing out your bottom 5. All right. So as we start into this gauntlet, should be clear skies today as Furious Chicken takes the start, followed by Hude, Streak, Mueller, Carpentier, Brooks, Hude. It's gonna change probably way too much. So it's, oh my goodness, look at that cluster towards the bottom as all of the carts start figuring out where they should lie in that 10 through 15 position. Fierce Chicken really taking advantage of that pole position, using those soft tires to try and get a massive lead towards the beginning of the race. Hude continuing his dominating pure Hude of Aston Martin, keeping their dominant performance as they transition into this week. You would expect some sort of fall off, but they're too skilled. What can I say? As we go back to look at our leader, it is just about a 2-second lead on the competition. Brooks in third. As Puff Carpet can't catch a break and is always finding himself into the walls of Hot Wheels. So they battle it out for second, with Bobby Brooks taking the inside line on Hude. Alright, as Furious Chicken with his 2-second lead takes the first pit of the race, get off those softs, and Bobby Brooks assumes sole possession of first place, getting this lead with hard tires this early in the race is very impressive, and really is just quite a setup for success, assuming he goes at least 8 laps with these tires. As Furious Chicken comes out blazing hot back into second place with those new set of hot tires, or hard tires, and he passes Bobby Brooks now that Brooks is starting to lose that traction. I assume Brooks will go into the pit probably in the next lap or two, as we see Hude brothers going into the pits. So, first, second, and third is starting to space out as Team Hot Wheels are flying strong together. And then there's Brooks going in there. Check up on the Hot Wheels tandem. Carpentier drafting. I guess they're drafting a little differently. I thought you weren't supposed to push the other car physically when drafting. And then we have Xavi Venegas in 7th of making the rise in ranks in these middle points. We have quite a cluster in the 8 through 10 mark between Miller, Kyle, and Paul Hude. It'll be... we don't have any sort of tire discretion between the two. I mean, they're all probably going to need to pit around the same time as well, so I would foresee them being pretty close throughout the race unless there's some sort of technique. or difference in their how their crew is calling the race. Late for Bingo is on time for this race, but he's in the latter half, followed by Selich, and as Selich makes that pass, as I mentioned that. Furious Chicken, like I mentioned, back to our leader. He is out to a 7-second lead at this point. It is his lap to there's a lot of racing still left, but he's put himself in quite a position to take 2 pit stops and not even have any someone not even catching up to him. Yeah, Brooks on softs, so they'll like I mentioned, Brooks going in immediately for the pit stop from the softs. Having Carpentier and Mueller passing them. So yeah, Chicken having a dominating start to this race. Second place Puff Carpentier is just passing. Is likely to pit in the next 2 laps. As Alpiner gives him a little bit of finesse and gets passed by Felix van der Biesen. And we get a lot of contact into that corner. As we're halfway through the race, we're starting to see a few lapped cars. A. Jobin, Zina de la Torre, of Mole, KBM, and Alex Burkhart are the ones that are really falling behind. Carvalho as well. Dadley is also kind of falling behind in this race quite a bit. Felix van der Biesen has halved the gap from the 8 seconds that it was, so he's making really good time, or Furious Chicken is just really enjoying a Sunday drive. Well, I guess Thursday drive at this point. Friday drive. Time is hard. We have check up on our Hot Wheel tandem of Pup Carpentier, and 5th place is really where the battle is in this race between Paul Hude, Raikkonen, Stree, Mueller, Jackson Kyle, Hude, and then Venegas. That's a lot of points and very tight separation between the 5 to 8 of them. Really been quite a battle for this 5 spot as Mueller takes the inside line. Hude smart and takes another pit. Checking in our race leader. Furious Chicken on new fresh softs. Yeah, continues his growth. Bobby Brooks just passed van der Biesen. So on their socks, and then van der Biesen is on some hards. We'll go back to checking out that 5 through 7 race. Now that we're about 20 laps in, we're starting to have quite a bit more separation as racers are finding their stride and getting consistency. Like I mentioned, Chicken is really just quite dominating this race. With Bobby Brooks and van der Biesen in quite a battle for second, going back and forth. I think van der Biesen has the advantage with the fresher set of tires. And Bobby Brooks, just as I mentioned that, goes into the pit. So we see our race leader take another pit and will finally give up a possession of first place. He does go on to hards. He's probably got one more pit stop in him today with how their crew's been casting. With the potential to go the entire distance on these hards, as he just takes the inside line and uses his momentum and just takes a really sharp, clean line for all of these turns. Just top tier racing from Chicken. There's no fury here, and if it is, it's directed into the track. Check off on all the cars. Mark Mueller on some mediums. We'll see if this if Mercedes can pass one of the Hughes brothers. Oh wow, we have quite a race for ninth, as Kyle and Struck battle it out in that ninth position. Even though they've all been lapped by Furious Chicken, there's still quite a battle for points. As Furious Chicken gets back out to a 6.5 to 7 second lead. Just see how calm, cool, collected everything is. This is probably the most interesting bit of the track right now, between the Hughes brothers and Mueller, as they may actually get lapped again by Furious Chicken. And yeah, just for perception for everyone, Furious Chicken is an entire lap ahead of 5th place. Let's see where Puff Carpentier is. Okay. All right. Let's watch some second place action in the meantime. See if he can close the gap as like I mentioned before, we've got some passing in the 9 to 8 section as Kyle just gets a second penalty right as we look at him, getting in the way of Vanderbiesen. Gets another penalty. This guy is aggressive as all heck, all disregard for everyone else. Wow. We're coming down to the final stretch as Furious Chicken gets bumped by his teammate to take the checkered flag over Vanderbiesen. Vanderbiesen made it quite a race in the end. Furious Chicken will take the dub with a really great time of 12:27.57, followed by Vanderbiesen, Bobby Brooks in 3rd, Carpentier in 4th, Pierre Hood in 5th, and I'll go through the rest of them on the next little bit. All right, we have Furious Chicken of Maple Street Racing taking the dub, netting 30 points. I honestly don't know how the point distribution is for the NSIM, so that's a learning point for me. But he takes the dub nonetheless. Felix Vanderbiesen is in 2nd place and really made it quite a close finish, with a gap as large as 8 seconds for Furious Chicken. Bringing it back to 0.38 is really impressive. Bobby Brooks of Ferrari with the fastest lap with a 19.63, getting 3rd place. Great points for Ferrari. Puff Carpentier, fan favorite of Hot Wheels, taking the 4 slot with a wonderful bounce back from last week. Pierre Hude of Aston Martin, dominating performance so far to the start of the season in 5th. Mark Mueller in 6th. Jimmy Raikkonen in 7th. Xavi Venegas in 8th. Jackson Kyle in 9th. Roger Destruc in 10th, Paul Hude in 11th, Michael Selich in 12th, Late for Bingo is in 13th, lucky number 13, 14 for Aaron O'Shea Hennessy, Pierre Dadley in 15th, Randall Devil in 16th, A. Jobin in 17th, Mateus Cavallo in 18th, Alex Burkhart in 19th, and Zena De La Torre of Mol KTM bringing up the rear. That was a pretty straightforward race. We had some really clean, tight lines, and it was a lot of fun to do this. Look forward to the next one. I imagine it will be we'll get another race on Monday, hoping for that. So looking forward to that. Hopefully we will have more casters on the ground. It's fun to do, and it's nice when the races are pretty quick like this, but if it's a longer track, it'll be pretty difficult to do so. That is all I've got for you. Let me know if you have any constructive criticism or anything like that, because I have a feeling I'm going to be doing this a bit. That concludes our race day 3. I hope it was a good one for you guys. Thank you, and have a good night, morning, or evening. Afternoon? Sure. Peace.